Доброго дня.
Good morning, everybody. So I hope we can start. Everything is ready. Now we have around 50 participants. It's a big pleasure for us. So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, again, good morning from sunny and warm Kuwait, from the Pearl of the Gulf. So today is a special day for us since we are launching online business mission of Ukrainian confectionery producers to Kuwait. My name is Ivan, and I'm a second secretary for economic affairs at the Embassy of Ukraine in Kuwait. And during the next 1 hour, you will explore the confectionery industry in Ukraine, main sweets factories and their products. We will inform you what are the advantages of dealing with Ukrainian sweets companies, about compliance with the import requirements in Kuwait, and other useful information. Through organizing this event, we would like to introduce Ukrainian confectionery companies to potential importers and partners in Kuwait and Gulf region. The further aim of this event is to help potential importers to organize personal B2B meetings with Ukrainian confectionery producers according to importers' interest, because the importers know very well their markets and how to commercialize the products. So to plan such meetings, we will share here in chat and by email and in WhatsApp a Google form where you can choose a company or companies, as many as you wish, which you would like to negotiate with. So such negotiations can be in English or Arabic, whether you feel more comfortable with. We will organize such personal online B2B meetings free of charge and without any intermediary fees from a Ukrainian exporter or from a local buyer, because the Embassy of Ukraine in Kuwait and the Ukrainian Confectionery Association, Ukrkondprom, who are also with us today, we support the government program for the promotion of Ukrainian export. So now let me introduce our distinguished speakers from both the Ukrainian and Kuwaiti sides in order they will deliver their speeches. Welcoming remarks from Dr.Oleksandr Balanutsa, Ambassador of Ukraine to the State of Kuwait, Dr.Rashid Al-Adwani, Ambassador of the State of Kuwait to Ukraine, and the main presentations we'll have from Mr.Oleksandr Baldyniuk. He's the president of the Association of Ukrainian Confectionery Producers, Ukrkondprom, and we have with us around 20 Ukrainian companies. And also we'll have a speech and presentation of Mr. Faisal Ahmed Alrashidi, head of Sea and Air Imports Food Department of Public Authority for Food and Nutrition. So now we also have with us around 20 Ukrainian confectionery producers, which will participate in this online business mission to Kuwait and represented by the association Ukrkondprom. And from the Kuwaiti side, from other hand, and the Gulf region, we are pleased to welcome importers and businessmen who expressed their interest in this area. As well, we would like to thank the Kuwait Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Public Authority for Food and Nutrition, State Service of Ukraine on Food Safety and Consumer Protection, Exporters and Investor Council under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, which supported this event. So dear colleagues, we'll have a question and answer session after the main presentations. So you are kindly welcome to write your questions in the comment chat, and we will ask our speakers those questions. Many of you have already sent some questions while registering for participation at today's meeting, so we believe that our speakers will highlight it during the presentations. At the end of this introduction, I'd like to mention a famous proverb, رحلة الألف ميل تبدأ بخطوة واحدة, or in English, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with one step. So let's start and make it together. So it's my honor and pleasure to invite Dr. Oleksandr Balanutsa, Ambassador of Ukraine to the state of Kuwait, to tell us more about today's online event and its highly practical purpose. Dr. Oleksandr, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ivan. أهلا وسهلا بكم. حيا الله من يانا أصورت ونورت. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I cannot but welcome my Ukrainian partners on behalf of Ukrainian Ukrkondprom, Oleksandr Baldyniuk, that will be delivering the presentation. And my heart comes with my Kuwaiti family, Dr.Rashid Al-Adwani, the ambassador of Kuwait to Ukraine, as well as my friends from the Chamber of Commerce of Kuwait and Public Authority of Nutrition and Food. I'm seeing right now, I'm watching 50 plus participants, and all of them know me. I'm representing the best team, diplomatic team in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because we're doing the job we believe it in, and we're delivering it to you. All our successes are reasoned on behalf of our team, and we are here to deliver to you the best what we have. Apart from the greetings, which are very sincere, that we have support from the Kuwaiti side, Ukrainian diplomacy is not limited to political or sport or public consultations or public diplomacy. Economic diplomacy is one of the priorities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine has established a mechanism and given us all the resources that we need, all the tools that we need to actually promote and support Ukrainian experts to foreign countries, as well as attract investments from our partners abroad. And this tool, which is called the Council of Investors and Exporters of Ukraine, is a structural unit of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, with which we coordinate our work 25/8. 24/7 is no good anymore. 25 hours, 8 days per week, we are working with the Council of Investors and Exporters to get from them the best information we need to give it to you, our foreign partners and friends, and to present Ukraine. For the last unfortunate year, since COVID changed the normal procedure of meetings, we had to go online. And my friends at the Chamber of Commerce of Kuwait know that we have already had 5 events digital-wise, online. But in order for us to offer that event, you have to address people. So we've elaborated at the Embassy of Ukraine, we've elaborated such a form which would offer to request a list of importers, exporters from Ukraine. Using the QR code, you'd be able to send us a form to ask what exactly is important. And should it be confectionery, should it be furniture, should it be honey, should it be agriculture? And for the last 6 months, even with COVID, we conducted very strong events with the real estate, investment opportunities in Ukraine. We've conducted a food security investment project with the Chamber of Commerce of Kirovograd region in Ukraine and with the Chamber of Commerce of Kuwait. Today, we're holding the B2B confectionery, which we believe has a huge, enormous potential, since Kuwait imported market with pretty much, as we evaluated it, within $5 billion of imports of foodstuffs, where definitely we have the confectionery niche where we can offer. And knowing that our quality is a high one and the prices are absolutely adequate to their quality, definitely we want to use this opportunity to offer the best what we have from Ukrainian side to you. As Mr. Ivan mentioned, as a small gift, as a small bonus, we will have a form where all our foreign friends who is present today, and I see not only our Kuwait family, we have United Arab Emirates, we have other friends that I see, that they can also send this form so that we can arrange the B2B meetings. And then Mr. Oleksandr Baldyniuk, who is the president of the association, they will know when and what exactly to prepare and offer for you. By saying this, I would like to thank once again our Kuwaiti family for having us and being so generous and friendly to support us with our initiatives, and also for our Ukrainian companies, which are at the best of their level. And it is a great honor for us to introduce them to you. Thank you so much, and we're always at your service. Enjoy this seminar.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for such a comprehensive and inspiring speech. So now I have the honor and pleasure to invite Dr. Rashid Al-Adwani, Ambassador of the State of Kuwait to Ukraine, who has huge diplomatic experience and profound knowledge of Ukraine. Dr. Rashid, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Oleksandr, Ambassador of Ukraine, and good morning for all participation in this presentation. I would like to thank the efforts was made by you and your colleague in the embassy. I will tell you about one secret, maybe it's now it will be not secret. When I came as appointed as ambassador for Kuwait in Ukraine, I always talking with all my friends and colleagues in Ukraine, why you are not in Kuwait market. We need you as the Ukraine as the basket food for Europe or for the world. I know how the quality and the standard of the food and agriculture products in Ukraine. I agree with you, Mr. Ivan, when you said, let we start. Yes, let we start. Just if we come late, but maybe when we start now, we will see, and I see now there is starting, we are seeing the Ukrainian food in Kuwait market. I always, I am as Kuwait ambassador in Ukraine, I encourage Kuwaiti company to dealing with Ukrainian company, and we are ready to facilitate for all companies, if in Kuwaiti or Ukrainian, to get contact with their partner in Kuwait. Again, I would like to thank you all, and I am happy to see such that presentation and meeting to promote the relation between Kuwait and Ukraine. Thank you again.
Your Excellency, we are thankful for your kind opening remarks, and we shall now move to the second practical part of today's meeting. But before we invite the next speaker, let me remind you, dear participants, that you can write your questions in common chat. So we will address the question to our speakers after their presentations. I'd like also to mention to those participants who have just joined the event that you will have chance to get to know better the range of confectionery products and main confectionery producers in Ukraine. If you study new business opportunities in the sphere of confectionery import, so the embassy and the embassy of Ukraine and the association Ukrkondprom will help you to organize direct personal B2B meetings with the producers which you are interested in. In the common chat and by email and by WhatsApp, we will also share a link for reservation of such direct B2B meetings with confectionery producers. And also you'll have the chance to look through the catalog to choose the best options you would like to have. So now my honor and pleasure to invite Mr.Oleksandr Baldyniuk, President of the Association of Ukrainian Confectionery Producers, Ukrkondprom, who now represents around more than 20 companies which would like to start their commercial cooperation with local Kuwaiti partners and other importers in the region. So Mr. Oleksandr, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Ivan. Thank you very much. And first of all, I'd like to address our respective ambassadors of the two countries, Mr. Dr.Rashid Al-Adwani and Mr. Dr.Oleksandr Balanutsa. Let me please convey assurances of our highest consideration from the part of my industry. We are very grateful that all this joint effort of the both sides lead to the establishing and strengthening trade relations between our two countries. And dear colleagues, I am addressing to businessmen from the both sides. I'm very glad to greet you on this meeting. It's very honor for us to cooperate with our respective Kuwaiti colleagues. And now, Mr. Ivan, let me share my screen.
That's great. We can see the screen.
Yeah. Well, colleagues, I'm a head of Confectionary Association of Ukraine. I'm empowered to represent the whole industry, both inside in Ukraine, in our cooperation with our government, and outside in our cooperation with foreign partners. Ukrkondprom, if to translate it into English, it's abbreviation, and it means Association Ukrainian Confectionery Industry. So just few words, why Ukrainian sweets? We know that a lot of countries produce a lot of confectionery, but why this is probably good choice for Kuwait business to choose namely Ukrainian confectionery companies to cooperate with. So we think that Ukraine is probably the most competitive producer of sweets in the world. Because we have several very important factors that stipulate the comparative advantages of Ukraine, especially in manufacturing and confectionery. Among them, as you see on the slide, first factor is that Ukraine has a very strong basis of almost all key raw materials for confectionery: sugar, honey, wheat flour, milk powder, vegetable oils, fats, etc. As you know, Ukraine is exporter #1 in the world of sunflower oils, and all raw materials we use that are manufactured in Ukraine, that we use in our confectionery, they are of very good quality. Another factor probably is a triad that include three main elements. First of all is the very rich traditions in Ukraine. The majority of our big companies were established probably more than half a century ago. And in our association, we have a company that were established more than a century ago and participated in famous World Paris exhibition in Paris in the year of 1900. And they even won a prize in that exhibition. Well, then another element is highly educated, developed human resources in Ukraine. And the other element is full technological modernization in Ukraine. We have fully modernized industry. All our big companies actually installed very sophisticated and modern equipment in their companies, in their facilities, so they could produce the most modern confectionery as now we can see in the world. The other very important factor is very strict and very stiff, very severe competition inside of Ukraine. Actually, in Ukraine, we have about 5,000 confectionery companies. About 35 of them are big companies, and all the others are medium and small-sized companies. And all these companies severely compete with each other in our inner market. And this is the reason why we have very high quality. And actually, quality is the key point of Ukrainian confectionery: high quality for very reasonable price. And this very intensive competition give us, as a result of the benefit, we benefit from that competition, and our consumers in Ukraine also benefit from this competition, and we have very high quality confectionery goods that produced in Ukraine. And another factor is that our market is open for any import. As you know, probably that Ukraine imply no tariff duties for confectionery import from the countries of European Union. Zero tariff duty, so European country could freely export their confectionery into Ukraine. As well, zero tariff duty we imply on confectionery products from former Republic of Soviet Union and from other neighboring countries. Even with Turkey, we have a very low protection in tariff duties, just 5 up to 10%. But given all the facts, we have to mention that in Ukraine, about 90% of all confectionery that is consumed in Ukraine are produced by Ukrainian confectionery companies. So our national confectionery business actually won the competition for inner market in this competitive battle with producers from other countries, namely from countries of European Union. And we propose to Turkey fully liberalize the bilateral trade in confectionery. We propose them just let's establish no tariff duties mutually for both sides in trade in confectionery. But Turkey refuses. So as I understand, they're afraid of open competition with Ukrainian confectionery. I know that Turkish company propose very good prices, but we are good not only in prices. We're good, first of all, in our very high quality. This is a key point. This is a hallmark of Ukrainian confectionery in our country and in the world. It's very important for us. Well, the other slide is a map. You see geography of our export. We export to more than 100 countries. And the number of countries we export actually increases every year. And the other slide. Well, about the place of our confectionery companies in the world confectionery rank. We see 3 companies are among the first 100 biggest companies of the world. And another information that our big and large and medium-sized confectionery companies produce, as a rule, more than 400 SKUs each in all confectionery groups. And we produces about 7,500 tons of confectionery every year, a sort of which is exported to more than 100 countries, as I mentioned. In these diagrams, you can see the dynamics of confectionery production in Ukraine in 1,000 tons. And on the right side of the slide, you can see the dynamics of confectionery export from Ukraine. And as you may see, we increase our export every year, step by step. We enter new markets and enhance our trade presence in foreign markets. So it means that Ukrainian confectionery is very competitive, and we are very good very good exporter, and we are a very good partner for local companies in our beneficial for both side cooperation. Quality, a few words about the quality again. All our company integrated modern standard systems of food safety and food quality management systems. Well, so I discussed this information before. Several general facts about Ukraine, but probably I skip this information because all of you know about it probably. The other slide is members of our association. We unite about 30 companies that produce not only confectionery, but also coffee, different drinks made of coffee and other components. And this is another direction of cooperation, and etc. As well, we unite companies that produce starch, is a glucose, and also concentrated food such as corn flakes, cereals, etc. for healthy food. So, gentlemen, it's my pleasure to address you in this meeting. I hope we will start long time, beneficial, profitable for both sides cooperation. And now we just entering your market in confectionery. This is a just black canvas for us. We are terra incognita, actually. We have some partners, some company have some partners, but our export to Kuwait in confectionery is very low, actually. We are starting just this process. I may say that we start to export to European Union just 5 or 6 years ago. Before that time, European Union applied very high tariffs on our confectionery, about 40–50% in different groups. And even in that time, we managed to export about 20,000 tons to European Union under this very high duties protection. But about 5 years ago, we liberalized. We signed both sides signed the association agreement, a free trade zone, established free trade zone, and both sides liberalized fully trade between each other in confectionery. In 1 year, we increased our export to the European Union in confectionery from 20,000 tons to 100,000 tons in five times, actually. We just started to export to the countries of Gulf. We understand that this is probably our market, and that confectionery that we produce actually are consumed in these countries. We are very close to tastes of local consumers in our confectionery. And we just started to enter market of Gulf probably 6 years ago. We just started to participate in Gulf food exhibition, Yamas, etc., other exhibitions. And just in these 5 years, started from zero. Actually, we export nothing to the Gulf countries, but now we export about more than 1,000 tons to United Arab Emirates and about 1,000 tons annually to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So as I understand, we have big perspectives in our cooperation in the market of Kuwait. We would be very glad and happy if a local consumer could buy Ukrainian confectionery. This is what we are working for. So, and we rely for your help in this cooperation. And I can reassure you that we do our best to make this cooperation beneficial for both sides. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you again, and please accept my assurance of my highest respect and my gratefulness for your participation in this meeting. Actually, I feel in high spirits, very elated, very happy that we started this process. Thank you very much. Thank you to both ambassadors, to respective both ambassadors, for this opportunity. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oleksandr. Let me sincerely thank you a lot for such information. So I believe that your well-structured and insightful presentation will serve as a guide for potential importers and partners in Kuwait and the Gulf states. And I would like to remind that maybe to those who have just joined our event, that we are at the end of the event. We are going to share with everybody by email and by WhatsApp, and also we shared it in our chat here, common chat, the link to book direct B2B, personal B2B meetings with the companies of your interest. So you can just put tips on the companies which you would like to have negotiations, and together with the association, Mr. Oleksandr, the Association for Confectionery Companies in Ukraine and the Embassy of Ukraine, we will organize such B2B meetings, and it will be free of charge for an importer or for exporter, because we do it for the government program within the frame of export support. And let me just show you very briefly. I will share my screen and I will show you this Google form, so it will be easier to understand. Yes, just a moment. So I hope you can see my screen, right? So we will send you this link, reserve personal B2B meetings with confectionery producers, and you can just go through it. You will find some pictures, which usually most of Ukrainian companies which are participating in these meetings and which are represented by Mr.Oleksandr from the association Ukrkondprom, they produce full range, quite wide range of confectionery, healthy snacks, sweets, candies, chocolate, wafers, gummies. So we prepared this Google form to make it easier to find your way, your most preferable products, which you would like to choose, which you would like to negotiate. And you just put tips like this and this, and you go down, and if you see some interesting pictures, products which you are interested more, we have some explanations like sweets, caramel, dragees, waffles, short explanations about the companies, and you just choose what you would like. We have around more than 20 companies here, and then you put your full name, company name, WhatsApp number, and email. If you have any comments or requirements, just send it to us, and we will do our best for putting you in touch with the Ukrainian companies, and you will have your direct B2B meeting with them, so it will be much easier for you to negotiate. And dear participants, now we are going to, don't forget also send your questions in chat to Mr.Oleksandr Baldyniuk or to other speakers whom we'll have now, and we will try to respond it after the next presentation. So Mr. Faisal Ahmed Alrashidi, Head of Sea and Imports Food Department of Public Authority for Food and Nutrition. Mr. Faisal will deliver a speech on import requirements for confectionery in Kuwait. So the Ukrainian producers who participate now with us could double check the compliance with local regulations if they have not yet started their export to Kuwait. Mr. Faisal, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Brother Ivan.
Thank you. You're welcome.
My name is Faisal Al-Rashidi. I work in the Public Authority for Food and Nutrition. I work in the Food Imports Department, the department that are responsible about checking the food imports that come to Kuwait, inspection, as well as controlling the imported food. First of all, before I begin, I would like to thank Mr. Ambassador Dr.Oleksandr and Mr. Ambassador Rashid Al-Adwani for giving us this opportunity. Also the Ukraine Embassy for letting me explain our regulation. And hopefully through this presentation, I'll try to enhance the food trade between Kuwait and Ukraine. Let me share the presentation.
Yes, please.
Through this presentation, I'll try to go through who we are, the Public Authority for Food and Nutrition, what documents and certificates that required for the food imports that come to Kuwait. Also, we'll go through the food standards that we require. We are the Public Authority for Food and Nutrition. We are the competent authority in Kuwait that are responsible for food control in Kuwait, including imported food. We are the Food Imports Department. We represent controlling the imported food that comes to Kuwait. Our responsibility is to make sure that all foods arrive to Kuwait are fit for human consumption, also comply with the standard. These regulation and standard we follow the GSO standards, and also some regulations that control our work in Kuwait. The most important, the GSO standard, maybe for the exporters. Required documents and certificates. With all shipment that comes to Kuwait, we require this documentation and certificate. For example, the packing list, health certificate, halal slaughter certificate for the meat, for confectionery products. If it has animal origin, we ask for halal certificate. The health certificate we require, it's an official paper, imply that this food fit for human consumption. This health certificate must be original copy or electronic copy, it can be verified. This health certificate, it must be issued by the competent authority from Ukraine. This health certificate must describe the goods and has a health attestation that saying this food with this shipment are fit for human consumption. Halal slaughter certificate, this is a certificate for meat product. We are talking about the confectionery products. The halal certificate is a certificate issued by the country of origin or exportation by an Islamic agency accredited by Kuwait. It must be original copy, attesting that the product such as meat, fat, gelatin, rennet has been prepared and produced in accordance with rules of Islamic Sharia. So if we have any chocolate that, for example, has gelatin from animal origin, we ask for the halal certificate. But if the ingredients of confectionery product has no animal origin, we don't require halal certificate. This is a sample of halal certificate. These the details of the products must be mentioned. Then attestation that this food or the ingredients, the ingredient that from animal origin is according with Islamic rules. And all these slides, I'll share it with Ivan. Ivan will, if you need it, you can ask the Ukrainian embassy. This is, for example, approved halal center. For meantime, we Kuwait, we have not yet did our own list. So the approved halal center in any of the GCC countries, for example, if Qatar approved halal international authority, we accept it in Kuwait. If you have any approved of halal center in any of the GCC country, we accept it in Kuwait until we have our own list. And these lists, it can be changed. It's not fixed. Like, for example, if the approved in any of the GCC countries expired, it will not be approved in Kuwait. What common mistake we have in the health certificate? Most of the mistakes that come with the shipments and with the health certificate is that not all the products with the shipment described in the health certificate. For example, not mentioning the weight, the number of packaging, not mentioning the invoice. Also, the difference between the data in the health certificate and with the shipment. These mistakes will delay the shipment. So this is the most common mistake. Also, the certificate is not issued from the official recognized body. Also, the required health certificate being dated before the production date. This is not allowed. The health certificates being issued after the date of the shipment of the food. The lack of specific health attestation. This is based on the country OIE status. This is the most common mistake that comes with the health certificate with the shipment that comes to Kuwait. Common mistake with halal slaughter or halal certificate, it's the same. Maybe the first point is for slaughter dates. We require it in day, month, year, not only month, year. Also difference between the date in halal certificate and the goods in the backing list. Production date on the goods is before the slaughter date in the certificate. Also, halal slaughter certificate is not stamped from Kuwait embassy. This is from for the meat products, not the confectionery products. We ask only for halal certificate. The food production date being before the date of the halal slaughter certificate. And this is here, I would like to mention that you can, to avoid these mistakes, you can ask us, the Food Imports Department, through the official channels, through the Ukraine Embassy. You can email us with all certificate and we can check them and we give you the approval to avoid any delay in the shipments. The GSO standard we follow is all the exporters must to make sure that they follow the GSO standard of the products itself. Also, they have to check the GSO standard for labeling. For example, the labeling, we ask it must be in Arabic language, and also it must have production dates. It's not enough only expiry date. And all these details, you can find them in the GSO 9 2013. Also, our inspectors in the border, once the shipments comes to Kuwait, they check the GSO 2500, which is about the food additives. They make sure this shipment comply with this GSO standard. Also, our inspector will check the requirements of nutritional facts on the labeling, which is required for the food labeling. Also, I advise the exporter to check the GSO 150 about the expiration date for the food products. All these GSO standards, you can find them in this link. You go through it and you can get all the GSO standards. Before, as I said, before you want to export any of the foods, you can ask us through the official channels, through the Ukraine Embassy. You send us all the details of the products, the certificate, we can check them, and then we will reply to you and give you the approval. This will avoid any delay of the shipment in the border. These are our official channels, and you can go through the Ukraine Embassy, then to us. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question, I'll be happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Faisal. I think there is Mr. Ambassador would like to add something.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ivan. Mr. Faisal, thank you very much for a very detailed presentation of all the details that we need to understand as the Ukrainian exporters into how to enter Kuwait. Mr. Oleksandr Baldyniuk, thank you very much for your detailed presentation on how actually the scope we are, because we are not a small company which is trying to enter the first market. We have 108 countries, and we've been working already in the Gulf. Moreover, Mr. Oleksandr Baldyniuk knows already, because he had a number of B2B meetings, and we're already having an 1,000 ton of chocolates, which is coming for the first trial period. Now, there was a question in the chat, and there was a question: what products, Ukrainian products, have already been entered into the market? So we already have honey, different kinds of honey, chocolates, furniture, wood, clothes, veterinary medicine, chicken, oil and gas equipment, drilling drugs. The scope of the products in Kuwait, amazing. Production-wise, foodstuffs also present, maybe in the smaller amount, which cannot be seen through all the market shelves, through all the department stores and Sultan Center, Lulu, but we're working on it. Mr. Ivan has every single week, he has another meeting with the chain or the line of stores to present the catalogs, at least, which we're talking today, all the companies which Oleksandr Baldyniuk presents as the association. We have those files, we distribute, we speak, we offer, we promote. Those questions which you will have today, I believe Mr. Oleksandr and Mr. Faisal will address. Mr. Ivan also has his details. If we have another urge to ask questions, please use us. Use our opportunities, send us, don't hesitate. We are here for you. Believe me, we will coordinate all our work with our partners with Mr. Faisal at the POFN. We'll speak with the Chamber of Commerce if needed. We know how to do our job. So help us, ask us questions, and we'll be able to provide and deliver what we have. Mr. Ivan, thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Just to confirm your words, let me share a slide where we gathered just some of pictures. I hope you see it well. So I will share it on full screen. So these are the products which we actually made pictures here in Kuwait. So as you see, just for local markets. So you see that it's quite wide range of products. And there are also sweets and chocolates and snacks. Of course, we didn't find all of them in the market, but still it's a short presentation about it. So now we move to question and answer session, and we see that really the common chat is very active here, and thank you for this activity. Now you have the very precious opportunity to ask questions to our speakers, both from Ukrainian side or Kuwaiti side. So let's start from Mr. Oleksandr Baldyniuk. I think this is the first question should be to your side. Could you tell us, please, which Ukrainian companies sell sugar-free sweets and diet confectionery and healthy snacks? Which companies export healthy sweets and diet confectionery? Could you tell us, please? And which are willing to enter Kuwaiti market?
Thank you. Yes, we have a lot of different healthy snacks in our portfolio of our companies. So, but as I understand, it would be probably better. I would propose to work in this direction, just to study all catalogs that we sent, and our in his possession, our embassy actually has all catalogs of all companies, and we are ready to work with each catalog, with each distributing company, to discuss each position. What we are going to do, just to, as Mr. Ambassador, our respected Mr. Ambassador Balanutsa mentioned, we are going to establish direct negotiation between Ukrainian side and Kuwaiti side, and to help you to meet together to facilitate this process. And then it's up to you to decide what scope of cooperation you will choose. Of course, we have a lot of companies that produce a lot of products, so we have to go to step by step in this process. And you may rely on our assistance in all these issues. And actually, I have to say that association have no agent fees. We don't charge this activity. It's our job already, so we have to help you due to what we have to do on this job, actually. So you may rely on any assistance. Moreover, if you're going to visit Ukraine, please, you will be welcomed, and the association assist you in all your activity in Ukraine and help you to find partners or to accommodate other issues you want in new country for you. So please rely on us, and we will do our best.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oleksandr, the head of Association Ukrkondprom. I think the second question is also to your side. And just to confirm your words, yes, we do have the detailed presentations and detailed catalogs, even with prices. So please, if you are interested, just let us know. Send me a message in WhatsApp or to the email of the embassy, and we'll send you the catalogs. And we are ready to help you to find the correct company which would suit your market the best. Also, Mr. Oleksandr, a question: can Ukrainian companies send the samples of their products to Kuwait?
Yes, gentlemen, it's a usual practice. After first stages of negotiations, as a rule, our companies sends samples, because it's difficult to understand how it tastes and quality of, and probably it's necessary to make some laboratory tests, etc. So it's usual practice, and so yes, of course.
Yes, thank you very much. We have a question to Mr. Faisal Al-Rashidi from Public Authority for Food and Nutrition, from one of Ukrainian companies. If the labeling of the product has English translation, but not yet Arabic, will this product be accepted for import in Kuwait, or it must have also Arabic labeling?
Thank you, Ivan. Yes, Arabic translation is required. If the shipment came to here, it will be, if the shipment arrived to Kuwait, it will be not complying with the standards. So we ask the importer to put sticker in Arabic under our supervision. And this will delay the final release to the market. So it's not allowed until it has Arabic sticker. If it's not from the country of origin, we ask it here.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Faisal. Thank you very much for your answer. So also, we see the chat is quite busy, so let us continue. Please let us know the steps we need to follow after signing any agreement with an Ukrainian supplier, like stamps needed on the agreement, like Chamber of Commerce in Ukraine, Kuwaiti Embassy, stamp of Kuwaiti Embassy in Ukraine, etc. Thank you. Who would like to answer to this question? If you want, I can repeat it also, because maybe Mr. Faisal can give us short information if there is need in certification of documents by the Embassy of Kuwait in Ukraine, and what kind of documents. Actually, you mentioned in your presentation, I think. Can you just remind us?
Yes, the halal certificate must be stamped from the Kuwait Embassy in Ukraine.
Okay, I see. Also, as I know, just from my experience, also some contract of representation should be also stamped by the Embassy of Kuwait in Ukraine. And usually the procedures are like this, that a company signs an agreement, and after that they can certify the stamps of the company, of the Ukrainian company, at the Chamber of Commerce of Ukraine. And after the Chamber of Commerce, whether it's Embassy of Kuwait in Ukraine may certify it, or it should go through the notary and then Ministry of Justice and Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, and then the Embassy of Kuwait in Ukraine. But most Arab and foreign embassies in Ukraine are used to certify stamps of Chamber of Commerce of Ukraine on the document on the certificate of origin, certificate of halal certificate, contract, which means the stamp of the company and signature of the director of the company can be certified at the Chamber of Commerce of Ukraine, and then it might be certified, should be certified also at the Kuwaiti Embassy. But these procedures are on the shoulders of Ukrainian exporters, and they usually know how to do it. If they don't know, just let them ask the embassy and we will guide them. Second question is, what is the shipping time from Ukraine to Kuwait? And how much does it cost for shipping 20 or 40 feet container? Mr. Oleksandr, do you have such information? If you may, and also I can add also to your words something.
Okay, but first of all, I'd like use this opportunity to thank Mr. Faisal Ahmed for his very substantial, very useful presentation. Thank you very much, dear Mr. Faisal. It's very important for our exporters and very useful. Thank you. Well, you know, actually it depends on many factors, I think it's better to ask our companies that practically export to this region, because it depends on the certain shipment, and each company works with some other logistic company that propose their own prices. So probably it's better to consult Ukrainian confectionery company about this. We could make inquiry about this issue to understand let's say what this price may be, and then we will inform via embassy all participants from Kuwaiti side of this meeting. If it okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
Sorry, my colleague sent me a message that delivery is about 25 or 30 days from Ukraine to Kuwait.
Yes, so it takes around 25-30 days. The price is variable according to the period. For example, last year the price was for freeze from fertilize. For refrigerating container, yes, was around $3,500. Now it's according to my recent information, it's a little bit higher, around 4.5, but still the prices are variable. So anyway, the best way to find the correct price, maybe we can do from both sides. From the Kuwaiti side, you can ask the local company.
And Mr. Van, let me add, please.
Maybe something happened technical wise. Let me check if everything is fine. Just give me 1 second.
Dear colleagues, while settling this problem, fixing this problem in the embassy, I'd like to say that my colleague sent me information that the approximate cost of delivery of REF container for the feeds from Odessa port to Kuwait is about $4,000. One REF container.
Sorry, I was off, I think. Yes, I was off. Sorry. So now the price might be a little bit different. So we can check the information from both sides, from the Ukrainian shipment agency and from the Kuwaiti shipment agency, and choose the best option.
While the process where I got chopped, I delivered information that as I was informed by my colleague, the cost of one REF container is about $4,000 US dollars.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, is there any Ukrainian products available in Kuwait market? I think that Mr. Ambassador just mentioned it. I think that the question was asked just before the ambassadors intervened and explained this. Thank you very much. We have a wide range of products here in Kuwait, and now Ukrainian confectionery companies, they are searching for new possibilities here. And also, it's not only possibilities for them, but also for local importers. So can I have a link of a slide shown by the speaker having logos of different manufacturers? Yes, we will share all presentations from both sides, from Mr. Oleksandr, from the Ukrainian Confectionery Association, and from Mr. Faisal Al-Rashidi. He was kind to share with us his presentation, and we'll send it to you and to Ukrainian companies for enriching their experience. So what about halal certificate, and does the products include pork ingredients? Could you please, Mr. Oleksandr, respond to this question? What about halal certificates for Ukrainian confectionery products?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. It's a must. It's a must actually for export to Gulf region, and we understand it. And all companies that now export to this region each company has halal certificate and strictly comply with all regulations of the receiving country. You know, it's okay. So we could make assurance double sure it's all do this way.
Yes, thank you very much. I think that this question should go to Mr. Faisal Al-Rashidi. Is E102, it's mean E102, banned or not? Or can we have list of banned colors as GSO 2500 2015 is not as much helpful?
Yes, E102 is allowed to be used, is an artificial color, but with warning. This warning about the activities of the mentioning that this color will affect the activities of the children. This is based on the GSO 2500. So it's allowed with warning.
Yes, we understood. Now we see that it is allowed, and it need to mention warning on the label, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, thank you very much for this response. So I'm reading other questions. Please share with all only the documents needed in both English and Ukrainian with all requirements. Yes, we will do it. We have some more questions. If I have a desire to use my company's packaging, is it possible? Mr. Oleksandr, I think it's your floor.
So as I understand, we're talking about private label.
Yes, I will repeat.
Okay,
if I have a desire to use my company's packaging, yes, private label, is it possible?
Yes, of course, it's possible. A lot of our companies actually cooperate with other companies on the grounds of private label manufacturing. And we produce private label. Not every company, but a lot of companies actually agree to cooperate on this basis. And we produce a lot of private label for retailers, and including foreign retailing company. And also some of our company produce private label for big transnational corporations. So it's quite possible. It's good option for us. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much for this informative response, short and very informative. We have some more questions put in chat. I think Mr. Oleksandr, also it's your turn. Would Ukrainian companies agree on exclusive representation contracts, and what would be main conditions for that?
Yes, dear colleagues, well, the right of exclusiveness is a very important part of any contract, and as I understand, both sides, as the rule, agree on this point, because it's very important not to compete within the one brand on the same market. But there are some situations when both sides agree that one exporting company would have more than one distributor in this country, and then they contract other SKUs if compared to, so not to compete between these distributors on the local market. But this is the issue to negotiate between two parties. As I know, the majority of contracts, our export contracts, are based on the right of exclusiveness. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for this question. We have another question. Sole authorized agent for that brand letter must be registered in the Union of to consumers in co-op. Which seaport to ship? I'm sorry, I did not understand well the question, but still, after the certification of the agency contract by the embassy, the Kuwaiti embassy in Ukraine, it will be valid in Kuwait because there is a stamp of the embassy, and after that you can use it here. I don't know if Mr. Faisal can tell us about something, if there is need to certify by another stamp after the Kuwaiti embassy, if you have such information.
Sorry?
if you may, if you have such information, because you might not have it in your mind, the question is, do they need certification of agency contract after the certification of the Kuwaiti embassy in Ukraine here in Kuwait? Do they need to go somewhere here in Kuwait to certify this contract after the Kuwaiti embassy?
We don't ask for the contract as a food safety authority. We only ask for the health certificate, the rest document that relate with the shipment. But contract between exporter and importer, we don't ask this. So I really have no idea if they need to stamp it or not.
And agency contract is also not important for you, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it might be sold directly during the negotiations between the Kuwaiti importer or another importer in the Gulf region and with the Ukrainian company, and then maybe also at the embassy we can check if there is need of certification somewhere else after the Kuwaiti embassy. But I think that Kuwaiti embassy is maybe Kuwait Chamber of Commerce might have a relation to agency contracts, so that might be the right person, or the right authority to address. And which seaport to ship? So seaport in Ukraine, we have several seaports in Ukraine. Maybe Mr. Oleksandr can tell us from which seaports you go, because here usually in Kuwait it is shipped to Shuaikh or Shuaiba port, but I think it will be also the correct question to the shipping company.
Yeah, of course. This is the issue that actually logistic company has to deal with actually. But as I know, we export from Odessa port, from Chernomorsk port. There is no problem to export from Ukraine actually.
Okay, thank you very much. We have another question. Any Ukrainian companies interested in imports from Kuwait? I can maybe answer this question. We have Ukrainian companies which import from Kuwait. It's mostly concerning the petrochemicals, and every year we have a certain amount of import from Kuwait in such sphere. And also there is a Ukrainian company which is in touch with the Kuwaiti company for import of Kuwaiti sweets, al-halawiyat, al-hawa, some other sweets which are very nice. I will not mention the names, but maybe because they still go ahead, they continue their negotiations, but we had such meetings, and we support this commercial cooperation in both sides. And we know that there is interest in some sweets from Kuwait which are not present in Ukraine. And of course, Ukrainian companies which produce sweets which might be and will be tasty here in Kuwait according to local tastes, we are sure that there are a lot of opportunities for that. And also, I can, just today morning, I received a message from one of Kuwaiti companies, and I'm pretty sure they are with us online now at this meeting. And they informed the good news also. They signed a contract recently with one of Ukrainian confectionery companies. I think it was for honey export and some confectionaries. So they now have agency contract, which was certified by the Embassy of Kuwait in Ukraine. And maybe I will not now also announce the names. If they wish so, afterwards we can support them in commercializing Ukrainian products here in Kuwait through our website or social media. And we will support, actually, we as embassy, we would like to help Ukrainian products be commercialized better in Kuwait. So if you import if you have contracts, don't hesitate to ask us to support you informationally. I mean, by spreading information about availability of your products, of Ukrainian goods, which you import under your label or under Ukrainian label, doesn't matter, but you import it from Ukraine, and we will support it by all our means we can. Also, there are only a few questions left. I see that we are over time for 10 minutes, but we will finish maybe in 5 minutes when we finalize all questions. So is there any way to open a bank account in Ukraine for a Kuwaiti company to keep some balance in Ukraine for any fast payment? Mr. Oleksandr, do you have such experience if a foreign company has a own branch or maybe bank account in Ukraine to make such payments with Ukrainian partners?
Yeah, I think it's possible, but we could find out more and inform our colleagues from Kuwait about this issue. So if you need any additional information, we could send it. We could prepare and send it later. Is it okay?
Yes, yes.
And
so thank you very much.
Mr. We skip one question about
Yes.
carmine coloring. That is it possible to use it?
E102?
No, I see a question from our company. Is it possible to use carmine coloring?
Carmine coloring. Okay, let's ask Mr. Faisal Ahmed Alrashidi.
Yes, as I know, it's allowed, but I have to check this. I have to go the standard and check this color, because from like years ago, I remember it's allowed, but I don't know if any updates happen. I have to check this and I'll give you the answer. You can get the who asked this and we will get the right answer.
Thank you, Mr. Faisal. So I would like to address all Ukrainian companies and Mr.Oleksandr Baldyniuk. Please, such questions, it's very important and it's are very useful for cooperation. You just send it to us, to the embassy, and we will transfer it to Mr. Faisal Ahmed. And thanks to Public Authority for Food and Nutrition for kind cooperation. And Mr. Faisal, who is a big friend for us, it's the second time he is presenting a great speech for our exporters. So we will give you precise answer to that question and other questions if happens. So okay, and for the company, just to add the concerning question of payment of balance through local bank account in Ukraine, I can say that in Ukraine, foreign companies can have a branch owned 100% by foreigners, so or by physical person or by a legal person. So your company can also register your branch in Ukraine to keep money on that account, on the bank account of this company, and use it for payments and all to provide. It will provide you all guarantees needed. If you would like to have more precise information, please don't hesitate to contact me at the embassy. We will be glad to provide you more details with such legal aspects. Okay, and we'll almost finalize our meeting. Just a couple of questions regarding any radiation effect due to Chernobyl event 30 years ago. Second, what other transportation route available? Mr. Oleksandr, would you like to respond to this question?
Well, I have to say that there is no impact from Chernobyl radiation. Actually, we have confinement there and built over the Chernobyl station, and we have a closed zone around this station. But outside this zone, there is no radiation, and it's checked probably every week constantly, and we have a normal level of radiation in Ukraine. It's all okay. And about another route, as I understand, by sea probably is the best route for trade between our countries in confectionery as well. Probably by plane, but you know, it's possible for some kind of very expensive confectionery goods, but it's very rarely used. As a rule, we used seaway to the Kuwait.
Yes, thank you very much. Just to add also concerning the Chernobyl, so as you mentioned, we have a restricted zone over it, and all manufacturing facilities are in a safe zone of far from it. For your information, Ukraine is the biggest country in Europe, and it's like maybe 25 or 20, maybe around 30 times more than Kuwait. So distances are quite quite big. And also recently, Ukraine has emerged as a touristic destination for Chernobyl, which might be a paradox, but a lot of people want to travel there. And we have regular trips, several trips per day. Buses go with people to visit this place, to visit this restricted area, those forbidden, those, how to say, forgotten forests and forgotten city, just as a tourism. Of course, everybody has its own like equipment to check the radiation. So now it becomes, it has become not such a problem as it used to be, regardless that the catastrophe was very important at that time.
Mr. Ivan, I apologize. I would like to mention, this is very important since this question was raised about Chernobyl. I would like to thank sincerely on behalf of my country to all the Kuwaiti representatives and citizens, because the Kuwaiti government participated in the nuclear and the Chernobyl nuclear shelter program and has given us a sufficient amount of money for Ukraine to build this shelter over the Chernobyl zone. So using this opportunity, since this question was raised, thank you very much, the Kuwaiti government and the friendly people of Kuwait, for being with us. And thank you very much for supporting us at the international level with all our territorial integrity and sovereignty. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for your intervention. So now I see that it seems no question left anymore. The discussion was very active. We have 17 minutes more than planned, but thank you very much for all your questions and dear distinguished speakers for your answers. It's very precious information. I would like to remind one more time that if you are interested to reserve personal B2B meetings with a confectionery company or companies, so it means that you can have as many meetings as you wish. So please fill a Google form, which will send you out through WhatsApp and email. And we will also send you, you mentioned in the chat, you asked also about the Google form for request a supplier, which Mr. Ambassador showed at his opening speech. So we will distribute it. Yes, I will distribute also this link. So don't hesitate to use it for reservation of personal B2B meetings, and we will organize as many as you wish to open new business opportunities for Ukrainian exporters and Kuwaiti and other regional importers. So now, if you don't receive the link among participants, please call us, ask the embassy, and we'll immediately send it to you. As we mentioned, we will organize it free of charge because it's in the frame of support governmental program for export support. And I hope you will discover such business options. And for sure, we will continue the tradition of holding B2B negotiations between Ukrainian and Kuwaiti stakeholders, as well as bridging our friendly countries. And lastly, to wrap up our meeting, we invite Dr. Oleksandr Balanutsa, the ambassador of Ukraine to Kuwait, to take the floor with closing remarks. Please,
gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, cannot have enough time to thank you for your participation, because this year, 1 hour and 20 minutes that we're together, that you've devoted your time for something which is important for us to deliver. Thank you very much for being with us this time. In regards of the Ukrainian companies and Mr. Oleksandr Baldyniuk, who represents the association, I would like to say that we are at your service, at your disposal, with all your participants in the group, in the association. Thank you very much for the Ukrainian companies who independently participated together with the association with us. Mr. Faisal Ahmed, thank you so much for permanent support. Mr. Mohammed B. Yusuf, who represents the Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for being with us always. And take into account that we are facing the blessed months of Ramadan, I would like to wish you a blessed Ramadan, and all your families will be healthy and wealthy. God bless you all. Thank you so much, Mr. Ivan, and on your behalf, thank you very much for the team of the embassy. Without you, it would not be possible.
Thank you very much, everybody, and good luck.
Thank you so much. We're at your disposal.
Yes, take care, and may the force always be with you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.